All right, Gospel Diaries, we're back.
Hey,
I'm with the one and only Pastor Jack Spencer. Okay. So right before we get to your transition here,
okay.
we want to know the church scene in Ohio. Talk about the church.
So church scene in Ohio. Ohio is a churchy place. Cleveland, churchy. People go to church.
Mm-hmm.
It is a real good music scene. The choirs. We got a lot of different groups and choirs, and a lot of musicians there. Quite a few musicians. Like kind of like Chicago, where you got 4 of them sitting in the audience not playing anything, but you got 3 of them up there playing. So the music scene was very good in Cleveland. So it was a major transition moving from Cleveland, moving here, where the music scene is a little different. So yeah.
So what were some of the choirs that were popular there in the
so it's a couple of groups. I'm trying to think. It's one that's still growing strong. They called Humbly Submitted.
Okay.
So Humbly Submitted, they just celebrated their, I forgot what anniversary it was, but they just did a reunion type of thing, and they're still going strong. And so some other ones growing up, a lot of quartets. We had quite a few quartets in Cleveland, so which was real strange considering that it was Midwest. Sometimes you think quartet, you think down south. We had quite a few. They would have quartet programs like every Sunday at somebody's church. They frying chicken in the background, and it's a quartet like Jesus, Holy Ghost, Jesus.
You were at a black Protestant church when you smell that.
Come on, you smell the chicken. That's important. You got to have that chicken.
Have y'all done any chicken fries?
We have, man. I'm funny about chicken because the smell gets in everything, and it never leaves. Like, so you can fry chicken last week and you come in next Sunday and it still smells like chicken.
You gotta have some good fabric sauce.
That's exactly what it is. So I have a rule. So they fry chicken outside. That's what it is.
That's funny.
I know, we got some fryers. We put them outside. They be frying the chicken outside.
All right, I'm not gonna get through this interview. I'm sorry. Okay, listen. So you made it here to Phoenix. Why Phoenix?
So that's a great question. I've never been to Phoenix.
Okay.
So my first time coming to Phoenix was to look for a place to live.
Really?
So I used to work for Bank of America at the time. Bank of America relocated me to Phoenix, Arizona. So they gave me a couple of options. They said, okay, hey, you can go to Phoenix, Arizona. You can go to Brea, California, or Norfolk, Virginia. So Phoenix it was. I didn't want to go to Norfolk because it was, it still get cold in Norfolk. If I'm gonna leave cold, I don't want to go anywhere else cold. Right. I didn't go to Brea, California because it's expensive. So Phoenix was the decision. I had never been to Phoenix. I didn't know what was in Phoenix. I was expecting cowboys and tumbleweeds, and it is some cowboys and tumbleweeds out here. So they relocated me here in 2007. They packed up my house, shipped my cars down, and my wife and I, we got on a plane with our daughters and we flew out here, and so they moved us out here. And so that's how I ended up in Phoenix. It was never my intentions to be here this long. Right. So my plan was to come to Phoenix for my job, to move up, climb the corporate ladder, and then my plan was to move to Charlotte. So Charlotte, North Carolina was supposed to be my place where I go really chase the bag. And so when I moved here, I started going to Progressive. So that's the church I went to. So I was there for about almost 6 years before I started pastoring. And so we went there, and then we're part of the jurisdiction out here. And so I had an opportunity to go around to different churches. They had like some different musicals. I went around just kind of surveying the land, seeing what I'm a part of, And so one of the first services that I went to, it was out in Mesa at Pastor Dansby's church. Out in Mesa, at Pastor Dansby's church. And Pastor Dansby was having something, and he had Pastor Lennox here from Chicago.
Lamont?
Yeah. So he was in town for something, and so he was singing something, and the organist couldn't play it, and so he plays, and so he had got on for a minute. But then he had got off, and so I slid on and started playing, and so, and everybody's like, "Who is this guy?" So that was kind of how I was introduced. And I went to a few sheds, and really, was introduced to the music scene out here.
So we're gonna pick this dialogue back up, but we have to talk about this now. So you had to pick up everything and move out here, but you have a family.
Absolutely.
You got kids probably in school. Your wife, she
has a job. I love you. She had a whole job. My daughters,
Yeah.
so they were 5 and 9 at the time.
Okay.
My baby girl hadn't started school yet, so she was going into kindergarten. And so it was an easy transition for her. She didn't know any better. Like, hey, that's all she knows. Now my older daughter, that's some, different. Like, I'm in school, I've already created some friends. Like, what do you mean? Cleveland, yeah, I mean Phoenix, yeah, what are we doing? So it was a little different. We left everybody, like all of our family, all of our friends. We moved out here, we didn't know anybody. Yeah, so it was a major challenge. Holidays were frustrated because you're out here, you don't have any family. I'm used to, and I have a big family. So we get together on holidays, birthdays, and all of that, and all of my family was back there. So I'm the only one out here by myself. So that was a major transition. I left my church, which I loved my church back home.
Were you playing?
Yep. So I played at the church, and I was my pastor is an armor bearer. So yeah. So didn't want to leave, but God had a different. And I've heard.
Watch your tone.
No. It's funny. Before I moved out, they had like a going away service, and one of the pastors that spoke prophetically, he said, "Hey, this is. It seems like it's a career move." But God had So he God, Bank of America is the vehicle to get you to where God needs you to be, because He has a work for you down in Phoenix. And I didn't think that of it. Oh, whatever. Even when I moved to Phoenix, I was going to take a break from church. I was going to kind of just chill. And I was going to still go to church, but I wasn't trying to play nobody's organ. I wasn't trying to preach. I'm just going to chill and relax. Nope, never happened.
So the Lord was pulling that.
Oh man, instantly.
But we have to have a surreal moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, did you ever feel that you were running from the pool?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. So I was definitely running from the pool. My first Sunday here, I didn't even bring a suit. I didn't wear a suit. I had on a shirt and some pants, and I just was going to chill in the audience. And Pastor Russian looked at me. He said, "You a preacher, ain't you?" I was like, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me. No." I'm like, "Yes, sir." And so he was like, "Saints, y'all come back tonight." He just threw a random service.
Really?
"Y'all come back tonight. We're going to hear from this young man." So the first Sunday I'm here, I ended up preaching that Sunday night. So I'm like, "So God, so you're really not going to give me a break?" And sure enough, I was right in. Right there, I still try to, I try not to even go back to progressive, because I was like, I'm gonna find some. Because I've never had the opportunity to kind of play the field. I've always been committed to the ministry that I was at. So by me not having a church home at this particular juncture, I can move around. And never happened. We kept going right back to progressive, and I ended up being the minister of music there, and assisting the pastor and all of that. So
Now, I don't know if you were here. I think you were here when Pastor E. Dewey Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you remember his sermon, thank you, Holy
Spirit.
It makes me think sometimes God has to place you in an uncomfortable situation.
So true.
You know what I mean? To pull out what
he needs to pull out. Absolutely. And that's so true. And Phoenix, it's crazy. When I first moved here, 2 years after being here, Bank of America let me go.
What?
Yeah, so they moved me all the way out here, and then they no longer needed my services. So I was like, man, God, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm all of these miles away from my family and friends. Why would you allow me to come all this way? And the Lord was showing me hey, I got you. I know it's uncomfortable, but I got you. So, and He's been faithful. So,
man, you got a story.
Streets.
Yeah. So listen, you are a phenomenal preacher. We got to come back and we have to talk about your style, your delivery, and all of your community connections here in Phoenix. So we're going to play a little clip of Pastor Jack Spencer preaching the Word of God.
Oh, Lord.
Some of you press your way tonight, and people try to figure out how you're still making it, how you're still surviving, how you're still doing what you do. But God has given you a level of grace to handle what you're in and what other people can't survive. He's given you the power to keep on moving and trying to figure out how you're moving. You can say, I don't know, but all I know is I heard the Lord tell me to come forth. I don't have all of the details, but I heard the Lord tell me to come forth. I don't know how He's going to do it, but I heard the Lord tell me to come forth. Listen, this is some of you.
when you have a dream, it's important to write the vision because your obedience blesses others. Listen, I started a magazine, the Gospel Music Gazette, to celebrate Black excellence and to commemorate this beautiful art form that we know of as gospel music. We have a combo bundle available for you. If you secure the bundle, would you do it? It's from my heart to yours. And as I always say, love on someone and you will change a life. Welcome back to Gospel Diaries.
Hey.
Listen, Pastor, I used to say this, I haven't said this in a while. You know, if I got a nickel every time I say welcome back to Gospel Diaries, I'll be a rich man.
And then now I have to get out a loan from him because he'll be rich, so I can get him.
History of behind Grace.
Okay. The church that I pastor was founded in 1928.
Okay.
So we just celebrated 95 years of ministry. The founder was a man named Bishop erix-clark. At that particular time, it was called Church Number 2. So it was Church of God in Christ Number 2. So it really didn't have a name. It was just a number. It was that for maybe 30, actually probably almost 50 years it was there. Because the name changed in 1983 to Grace Temple.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bishop erix-clark was the founder. Pastor Lindsey Brown, you probably know his son, Lindsey Brown. He plays the organ in the city. Phenomenal gospel organ. Yeah. So phenomenal gospel organist. His father pastored the church, and then Superintendent Nelson McGriff pastored it for about 20 years. Pastor Dave pastored it for about 20-some years, and then I became the pastor in 2013. So I just celebrated 10 years of pastoral ministry here at the sanctuary. So church has a rich legacy, rich history. I'm just privileged to be able to stand on the shoulders of those wonderful men who, came before me. So,
yes, sir. When you see growth, you gotta be on the right path.
This is so true.
That's just like, if you harvesting something, if you don't see nothing, if you don't see any growth, that means something is wrong.
Absolutely, I agree.
So there's growth. I'm doing a new attitude.
Yeah.
You got fresh faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's vibrant. You see, I've been coming quite often.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
The Lord is trying to pull me over.
So maybe it was a pull on that.
You know what I mean? So, I'm so excited to be able to watch the growth.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you are really making history. I'm going to say this. Some people are in history because they live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you have some people that are in history because they impact history. You are impacting
Thank
history.
you. I appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
we salute you today. That you use to kind of draw people.
So one of the things, we really went into the communities. Like, so when we was over in the other space, we did the same thing here, but over in the other space, when I first became a pastor, we were big on community outreach. Like, how do we get into the community? We're walking around apartment buildings all over there. We're walking through, talking to people. Every month we was out there in the community doing different things. We will open up our parking lot, doing hot dogs and different things, just letting them know, hey, we're here. Like, hey, it's this young, youthful minister here. It's a young new group here that is excited about Christ. I want you to come be a part of it. And so we really went out there and did things like that. We started live streaming years ago before a whole lot of churches, they didn't take the pandemic to make us start live streaming.
Right.
So we started live streaming maybe my second year pastoring. We were 2014, I went out and bought some cameras and we went on Facebook and we started live streaming. And so people all around the world was like, man, what's this church? And we had, and it's funny because the back wall was different colors. So one season the back wall was like a light green. One season the back wall was a brown. Then the last season, the back wall was like a bluish color. So people are like, hey, I've been watching you since the light green wall. All right. So you can tell when people started watching because they'll tell you like the color of the backdrop. So
you're out in the community. You are doing the work of He who sent you.
Absolutely.
Right? Now we're in a contemporary society.
Yes.
So we deal with contemporary issues.
This is true.
How do you pastor a church in the 21st century, year 2023? Where all these, you got people that are on drugs that we ain't never heard of.
Absolutely. This is so true.
People are homeless. We got a church in this era.
I think what you just stated, like just showing benevolence, being kind, doing what you can. You may not be able to fix everything for everybody, but do what you can. Use the resources you can to help impact the communities. We do this every month. We have a wonderful outreach team and evangelism team that we do, outreach for for the homeless. And not only do we do outreach, we do inreach as well. Sometimes we focus on the people that's out there, but there's a lot of people inside of our congregation that's struggling, that are going through different life changes. So our focus is not just on those out there, but we want to make sure that we take care of inreach as well. And how do we really connect and engage those that God has assigned to my.
It reminds me of a hospital, right? Okay, so there's different floors in a hospital for a reason.
Absolutely.
Every floor don't deal with cardiac.
Nope.
You know, every
different
floor
level.
don't
Absolutely.
deal, you know, they deal with different ailments.
Yeah, so it's important to understand people's gifts.
Okay.
So one of the things that I like to, you know, assign people or allow them to operate in that space that they feel called to. Sometimes you put people in a space and that's not what they're called to, and so they're not effective there. Like if you're not good with greeting people, I don't need you at the front door, right? It don't mean that you can't be a part of the body. I just need you maybe in the kitchen, or maybe So knowing where people need to be and letting them operate in that capacity, but also making sure everybody knows that each joint supplies. So whether or not you're on the front door, whether or not you're up here preaching, whether or not you are cleaning the bathrooms, you're just as important as the person that's up here leading praise and worship. So letting everybody know, hey, we need you. You are a value add to what we do here in ministry. And so really engaging them and delegating and allowing people to be what God has called them to be. God has blessed me with some wonderful leaders here that I don't have to do all of it on my own. I can step back and, you know, cast vision. And people like my executive pastor, Pastor Walker, and administrator Juliet, all the people, all the leaders here, they run with the vision. Okay, hey, Pastor, what do we need to do? How do we make this happen? And so,
learned that. Do you know that some people they wonder, they say, they ponder, say, what is my gift? You know, this person there, they can do hair. This person is a musician, and so forth. But do you not know you can have a gift of smile? Do you know the smile that you wear can be healing?
Come on.
You know,
it helps people going through life, and just to see your smile or your warm embrace to them, like, wow, man, thank you. That really ministered to me. So what you have to realize is your spiritual giftings oftentimes align with what you're gifted with secularly or in your natural giftings. And so people always try to shun, you know, their natural gift. It's like, no, use that, but just tweak it. And you, like, say for instance, Paul, when he persecuted, you know, the saints, he was very vigilant. He was very tenacious. He was very, just out there. He didn't change his approach. He just changed, you know, who he was. Like, so now, okay, hey, I'm not persecuting the saints. I'm gonna use that same tenacity. I'm gonna use that same influence, and I'm gonna switch it and use it for the kingdom instead of using it for the enemy. So people think like, well, you know, hey, if I work with kids outside of here, I don't have to work with kids. But no, if that's what you work, like, maybe that's your gift, and maybe you're the one that God has deposited to help reach this next generation.
You know, we living in an age, you know, first of all, you know, I grew up apostolic. So pretty much when you started playing an instrument this high, because by the time you get this high, you'll be, you know, indebted to the church.
Absolutely.
You know, but we're not in that era anymore.
No, sir.
You know, bills need to be paid.
Absolutely.
So how do you deal when it comes to payroll in the church? So
the Bible says the servant is worthy of his hire, right? So I believe in compensation. We compensate people here. I believe in taking care of people. And I grew up in a church like you, where, you know, hey, it was like, baby, God bless you. The Lord is going to take care, and that's great. And I received that, and He has taken good care of me. But I also believe some of these people, you know, they really have invested in their craft. They've invested their time, their energy. Some of them have went to school for this, and so to just tell them, hey, you know, I'm not going to give you anything, no type of conversation, I don't think that's necessarily fair to them or fair to you. And, you know, I really believe that we wouldn't lose so many of our great talents or musicians to other things if we were able to, you know, do what we can for them. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was like, I'm learning so much.
Oh, thank you.
So much more about you. And
thank you.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just touching.
I appreciate
what
that.
comes from the heart, you know, it reaches
absolutely reaches the heart. Absolutely.
So last but not least, we have to talk about, you did a recording. I'm not sure how long ago was that.
It was 2 years ago. We're still working on this. Yeah, pray for it. But Devin, you hear that? They're waiting on the recording. Yeah.
Albert, we want to talk about the vision.
Yes.
Let's talk about the vision of the recording.
Brother Devin, he served here as my musical director for 4 years, and he really wanted to showcase and highlight the sanctuary, like the sound, like, because here in Phoenix, there's a lot of churches who don't have a distinct sound. But one thing that here at the church where I've been privileged to serve is we have a sound. Like, like you want to come and have some good, like come on down to the sanctuary. We go, like, I'm a preacher who, I can't sing, but I'm gonna sing. I believe music. I believe music ought to be right. I believe the singing ought to be nice. I don't like boring church. I want to come in and have a great time, enjoy Jesus, and then we go home. And so Devin really wanted to highlight that, and so it was an opportunity to utilize the singers and highlight, that sanctuary sound. So it was good. I mean, I'm excited to hear what the final product is going to sound like. Me too. I know, right? So I think it's going to be great. We had a good time. We had some guest artists come in to help make that.
Bishop Bond was here, right?
Yep. So that was good. We had a good time. So yeah, I'm expecting it to be done real soon. So,
explain the musical staff.
So currently my musical staff. So Brother Derek George is I'm gonna say an amazing organist. He's currently right now playing for the Phoenix Theater. The play, I think it's Lady Day is the name of the play. So he's playing for a play. I mean, tremendous organist, does an amazing job. So he's my organist. Brother Keenan, Derek is from Cleveland, Ohio too. So he's from back home.
Did you just bring everybody?
Yeah, I know, right? He's from None of my musicians are from here. Okay. Brother Keenan Hobbs is my bass player. Okay. He's from Rockford, so he's right outside of Chicago. So he's from Rockford, Illinois.
What are the keys?
So Devin.
No, the one that's here now. What's his name?
So BJ plays periodic. He's not necessarily on the musical staff, but he's learning. He's from Cleveland too. So he's from Cleveland too. So he's learning, and so we're trying to get him, pull him up to speed and everything. But he definitely helps. He's a great guy. Yeah. He's actually one of the young ministers at the church too. So
I saw him holding the offering.
So he's a real good young man.
And the drummer.
So the drummer, his name is Rob. Brother Rob. He's from Chicago too. So I mean, none of the musicians are from here. All of them from Midwest, back home type of deal. Dr. Robert Body is he's our choir director. He teaches the choir and the praise team. He does an amazing job. So we got some good pieces here. We just lost our worship leader, evangelist Sarah Mabry. She moved to she's in Georgia. She's in Atlanta. So great opportunity for her and her husband. And so if you're watching, Sarah, we love y'all. Thomas, we love y'all. So God has blessed us. We're in transition now. I'm trying to, fill that piece for the worship leader, but great musical team.
Yeah. So. We're gonna actually play some clips of the worship team. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dr. Robert Body.
Oh yeah.
Everybody sing hallelujah, hallelujah, we worship you. For who you are. Come on, sing it again. We worship you. Make up in my mind this morning. I'm gonna give you the highest praise because we worship you. Why, church? For who you are. Everybody say you are good. Everybody. Hey, say you are good. Hey. Come on, let's sing it one more time from the top. Everybody say, Lord, you are good and your mercy endures. Lord, you are good and your mercy endures forever. And ever, Lord, you are good. Lord, you are good and your mercy endures forever. Come on, if you're really grateful for his goodness, shout it out, Lord, you are good and your mercy.
So how did you get the connection with Pastor Eric Thomas?
So Pastor Darius Walker had moved here in 2015, I think. And he had came to our church one Sunday, and he called it Little Harvest. Like it just reminded him of Greater Harvest. So we from there, a relationship was created, was born, and we had them come out. So they came out about 75 of them. They
God.
got on planes and got hotels, and so we packed our little church out over there. I mean, it was crazy church. We had amazing church that whole weekend. And the next year we went out to Chicago.
Yes.
So it was about 40 or so of us that came from Phoenix, and we got on planes and flew out to Chicago. So we've been doing that ever since then. Actually, the year of the pandemic was the year right before the pandemic. Actually, the first service we had here in this building, we had just moved on that Sunday. They were here with us.
I was here.
Yeah, exactly. So they were here 4 years ago, 2019, in October. We moved in October, and they came to help us celebrate the new building. And so so that's how the connection, and we've been brothers ever since. We've been going back and forth. That's our sister church. We love Greater Harvest. And then that opened it up for me to meet more and more people from Chicago. So I had an opportunity to meet, some pastors and Pastor Sharp and Pastor Patterson. I had an opportunity to meet all of these people from that connection with Greater Harvest. So
I saw Pastor Patterson, DeAndre Patterson. He did a
So had an opportunity to meet quite a few. I was there maybe in February, and we went to Pastor Spivey's anniversary. So I had an opportunity to go over to Corinthian. So I was I'd have been on the west side of Chicago, south side. Just doing church, and so opportunity to meet all types of people out there. So I really, really enjoyed my Chicago.
Y'all have some nasty church.
Yes.
Okay, so one come to you and tell you that y'all dancing too much. Y'all dancing too much. What is your response?
My response is like, hey, we're going to keep dancing. Okay. We believe in giving God praise. And, our expression of praise may be different than others' expression of praise. Now, one thing we never do to people, like we don't make you feel uncomfortable because you're not a dancer.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, like your expression of praise may be different than this person. This person may be somebody who just sits there and lifts their hands.
My God.
And that's okay. You may have somebody who just weeps. They just crying. It's like, they ain't necessarily going to get up and run around. But hey, this is how I worship God. And so I believe we create a safe space where no matter how you worship Him, we accept all of it. But we don't stop you if you want to dance. Like, you go for it. Like, knock yourself out.
And y'all give some good music.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to give you some good.
Why not dance when you
got some good footwork.
Well, Pastor, I've had a blast.
Man, it's been a blessing, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Leave us a nugget. Leave us some words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement. I want to encourage everybody that's watching to hold on. God is faithful, and no matter what you're going through, He's able to either bring you out or He's able to fortify you while you're in it. And sometimes we want Him to always bring us out, but sometimes He wants to keep you in there, but He'll be able to make sure that you're fortified and that you're taken care of while you're in it. So just hold on. He got you. All things are working together. The good, the bad is all working together, and it's working for your good.
Wow. And on that note, first of all, I want to salute all of the Phoenix pastors. Trust me, I'm going to get to you. We love all of you.
We love y'all.
It's a large community, but it's a small.
Absolutely. A large but small community. That's so true.
But we love you all. So we're going to get to you. And I must do this before we go. Listen, I have a magazine, y'all.
Get the magazine.
Listen, this is sweat and tears.
Yes.
I mean, I've been studying gospel music as long as I can remember.
Wow.
I received an honorary doctorate degree in sacred music from the seminary.
Awesome.
So I'm true to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of hard work. If you do me a favor, go to erix-clark.com and get you a copy. Trust me, it's going to be something in there. Because it's from my heart to yours. And as I always say, Pastor.
Yes.
Thank you, Holy Ghost. I'm having some fun. So, listen, love on someone, and trust me, you will change your life. You never know, the smile that you wear just may be the ingredient that someone needs to put that gun down and say that I can live another day. So be kind and be courteous. Until next time, bye. See y'all later.